I hope you heard that. That is the battle cries coming from the benches. Coming to you straight from the great city of Fitchburg, Massachusetts. The Battle of Bunker Hill 2017. Coming up, our next game is Mass Maelstrom Roller Derby versus the Toronto Men's Roller Derby. Starting the rosters off with Toronto, we've got 101, Potty Mouth. 11, that's Billy the Kid. 1, 2, 3, 4, Street Fighter Manifesto. Number 14, Swarley. Number 151, Biff Malibu. Number 17, Martin. 222, Sleeper Cell. Number 42, that's Emmer Thuds. Number 513, Shred Flanders. Number 662, Stupid Sexy Flanders. Number 8, that's Flyin' Brian Kilman. And 888, Senor Wiener. For the Mass Maelstrom, we have 10, Dirty Frank. 109, Cilantro. 1337, Striker. 2, Conlon. Number 21, Shocker. Number 22, that's Andy. Number 32, Pickering. Number 4, Renegade Master. Number 504, My Baby Daddy. Number 562, Colleran. Number 60, Brunetti. Number 7, Hasselman. Number 777, Captain Hook. And number 80, Bernard. The whistle has been whistled, and we are into Jam 1. Wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, that is Striker. And wearing the star for Toronto, that is Senor Wiener. Senor Wiener got out front, got lead jammer, and immediately called it off. The first jam, a 0-0 for both teams. And out on the track, we have Andy, number 22, wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. And that is Potty Mouth, 101, wearing the star for Toronto. For those at home, the Mass Maelstrom is in the dark blue, Toronto is in the white, and Andy is the lead jammer. Andy coming back around, re-engaging the pack, getting knocked to the side. Potty Mouth trying to get into turn 4, unfortunately being recycled all the way back to turn 2 by Pickering. Pickering and Brunetti putting up a fight, keeping Potty Mouth at bay. 5 points on the board for the Mass Maelstrom, courtesy of Andy. Oh! Andy attempts the apex jump, no such luck, does not complete it, and that is Kilman, number 8, Flyin' Brian Kilman, recycling Andy to the back of the pack. Looks like there has been a star pass to number 14, that's Swarley. They did not complete that star pass. It looked like the star silk was in the hand of Swarley, or as we like to call him, Swarlos. Also goes by the name Swarls Barkley. Nine points on the board for the Mass Maelstrom, 0 on the board for Toronto. Number 504, that's My Baby Daddy, wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. And that's 151. That's Biff Malibu. Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto. My Baby Daddy breaks through that pack, taking lead jammer. Biff Malibu still stuck at turn 1. Oh, another attempted apex jump by My Baby Daddy. Gets knocked out in mid-air and gets recycled to the back of the pack. Biff Malibu finally makes it through. That's a no pass, no penalty for Biff Malibu. My Baby Daddy making it through the pack. That looks like 3 more points on the board for the Maelstrom. And Toronto finally on the board with 1. I can see the numbers from here. That is 1337, the elite striker there, wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. And I believe that's 888, Senor Wiener, wearing the star for Toronto. Striker making it right through that pack. Wyphopathic holding up that finger, letting everybody know he is in the lead. Striker already engaging the pack. Senor Wiener unable to get through. Finally finds a way through. Looked like he was going to attempt a star pass. Had that star silk off the helmet. Did not complete the pass, but that's another 5 points on the board for Mass Maelstrom, bringing them up to 18. Toronto 1. Wearing the star for Toronto, that's 101 Potty Mouth. And wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, that looks like Cilantro. Potty Mouth getting to the front of the pack. Looks like one of the teammates there, that's number 11. Billy the Kid playing some offense up there, trying to help Potty Mouth get through. Potty Mouth breaks through at turn 2. Taking lead jammer away from Mass Maelstrom. This is a decent opportunity for them to make up some of those points. Potty Mouth fighting to get through. Potty Mouth trying to get through at turn 2, getting pushed out and recycled. Potty Mouth needing to grab those points, but look at that. Looks like a star pass. Looks like there was an attempted star pass. Cilantro putting the star silk back on his head. That looks like 4 points on the board for Toronto. That brings them up to 5. 5 points Toronto, 18 points Mass Maelstrom. Remember, if you'd like to give us a shout out, if you'd like to let us know how we're doing, if you'd like to send something out to the rest of the Derby fans out there, it is Talk2BOBH. Talk the number 2 BOBH on Twitter. Back on the track, we've got Andy, that's number 22, wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, and that is Biff Malibu once again wearing the star for Toronto. Andy making lead jammer, coming back around, engaging that pack right on the heels of Biff Malibu. Andy making a wise decision to call off that jam before Biff Malibu can grab any more points. Mass Maelstrom up to 22, Toronto at 5. Looks like we've got Scooby Drew and Wyphopathic. We've got Shebra and A-Block on the inside of the track. Thank you, Zebras. We appreciate all your hard work. I don't know how you officiate and how you keep track, but we do appreciate you doing it. Back on the track, we've got Striker wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, also at lead jammer, and that is 888 Senor Wiener wearing the star for Toronto. Little jammer on jammer action before Striker called it off. Mass Maelstrom versus Toronto once again. We've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and that is Potty Mouth once again wearing the star for Toronto. My Baby Daddy is not lead jammer. My Baby Daddy was out in front. Looked like Potty Mouth had lead jammer, but got pushed to the outside of the track and called it off. All right, folks. Back on the board, number 22, that's Andy. And Mass Maelstrom also has 22 points on the board. Biff Malibu, number 5, wearing the star for Toronto. Andy already out in front with lead jammer status, re-engaging the pack, but getting brought all the way back. Biff Malibu about to re-engage the pack, and Andy calls it off. Toronto at 6, Mass Maelstrom at 22. I'd like to thank all of you out there watching live. This is the final MRDA sanctioned game of the tournament. I'm sorry, the Invitational, the Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational here in beautiful Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Once again, wearing the star, we've got Stryker wearing the for Mass Maelstrom, and we've got Senor Wiener, number 888. Senor Wiener getting sent to jammer jail for a track cut penalty. Stryker, you are on a power jam. Looked like Stryker was going to attempt a star pass. That silk was off the helmet. Now Stryker just trying to get through. Looks like Captain Hook trying to run a little interference for Stryker. Stryker almost making it. There he goes. Makes it through. Stryker is not the lead jammer. I believe that was Senor Wiener, but he did have that track cut penalty. So that means, folks, we will be going the full 2 minutes. Senor Wiener out of the box, re-engaging the pack. Stryker, 5 in the sky for Stryker. Stryker, a hop and a skip and a jump right through that pack. I'm not sure how he made it through those brambles, but he went through without a scratch. Another little hop to the inside, and that'd be another 5 points on the board, bringing Mass Maelstrom up to 37. 30 seconds left in this jam. Stryker getting through for a third time unopposed. But no such luck. That's a track cut penalty, giving Senor Wiener a power jam for the last 15 seconds of this jam. Lots of commotion inside that pack. Lots of pushing and shoving, even while the jammer's not there. Senor Wiener was inside that pack, and that pack started to move. But it does not look like Toronto got any points. Mass Maelstrom up to 37, Toronto at 6. Stryker is in the penalty box and not even standing. Toronto is also a skater down. That's number 11. Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid is standing ready to re-engage. Potty Mouth, number 101. Wearing the star for Toronto, already in the mix, already to turn 2. Almost out of turn 2. Can he make it through? Stryker is standing. Stryker is back on the track. Stryker is back, re-engaging the pack. Potty Mouth getting recycled back to turn 2. Stryker gets through and takes lead jammer away from Toronto. Stryker a shoulder to number 11. That's Billy the Kid. There you go. Stryker back to jammer jail for 30 seconds. That means that this jam, once again, will go the full 2 minutes, my friends. Number 14, Swarley, getting sent to the penalty box. Mass Maelstrom at 38, Toronto at 6. Potty Mouth taking a nice leisurely stroll back to turn 3. Trying to cause a chain reaction, knocking skaters down. Potty Mouth almost to the pivot line. 30 seconds left in this jam. Stryker back out on the track. 5 in the sky for Mass Maelstrom. Potty Mouth just needs to make it through, get some more points on the board. Big shoulder by Hasselman to 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Street Fighter Manifesto. Swarley reaffixing that star back to his helmet. Made the apex jump, completed it, but could not finish getting through the pack. 2 more points on the board for Toronto, bringing them up to 8. Mass Maelstrom at 47. Timeout's been called. I believe the timeout was called by Mass Maelstrom. So right after this bout, we have the Mass Maelstrom Roller Derby Berserkers versus the Philly Shenanigans. It's a B team game. Should be a lot of fun. The B teams are great to watch. Also, folks, I'd like to tell you about our sponsors. When you come into this town, we have what we call the Twin Cities of Leominster and Fitchburg. So right over the border to our neighbor is the Daily Bagel Cafe. The Daily Bagel Cafe at 582 North Main Street. They make all the bagels in-house, amazing bagel sandwiches, and don't forget to check out the Scaffolding of Sin. That's right, that's where you will find all of the sweet treats. Things like whoopie pies and banana bread with thick cream cheese frosting. Some of the best stuff you'll ever put in your mouth, and it's all made in-house. Stop in there for coffee, stop in there for breakfast. Check them out at thedailybagelcafe.com. That's thedailybagelcafe.com. Tell Joe, Athena, and Mary Ellen that Oso Blanco Fabuloso said hi. We're also sponsored by Turn 2 Skate Shop in Portland, Maine. Turn 2 Skate Shop is a roller derby-based skate shop operated by Kissy Kicks of Rock Coast Rollers. Turn 2 Skate Shop strives for personable customer service while properly outfitting veteran and aspiring derby players from around the world. We're lucky to have Turn 2 Skate Shop here at Battle of Bunker Hill. Remember, folks, all the action is at Turn 2. Check them out at turn2skateshop.com. We're still in a timeout. We're a little over 2 minutes into the timeout. Mass Maelstrom at 47, Toronto at 8. A little less than 16 minutes left in the bout. So this is the first time that Maelstrom has gone against Toronto this weekend. Maelstrom has gone up against the Hooligans. Maelstrom has gone up against Tampa. And Toronto went up against Casco Bay yesterday. Toronto also had a game this morning, game number 2 this morning versus Tampa Bay. We're back on the track, back to the action. My Baby Daddy wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, getting recycled back to turn 4. And we've got Biff Malibu wearing the star for the Toronto Men's Roller Derby. Looks like Biff Malibu getting recycled this time. Oh, a nice little hop there. And My Baby Daddy now has lead jammer. My Baby Daddy knocked to the inside, calling it off. Once again, shutting down Toronto. Mass Maelstrom now at 50. Toronto at 8. That's 42 points between these two teams, but I don't think it's going to be the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Number 2-2, that's Andy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. And number 888, that's Senior Wiener. Andy almost making it through, but getting stopped by number 17. That was Sleeper Cell, but that pause did not last long. Andy busts through, taking lead jammer. Senor Wiener still fighting to get past turn 1, finally makes it through. Hasselman had Senor Wiener in his sights, was not able to finish the connection. Mass Maelstrom at 55, Toronto steady at 8. Maelstrom keeps pulling these small scoring jams and just shutting down Toronto, not allowing Toronto to get any momentum. All right, that's 101. Potty Mouth wearing the star for Toronto. Striker wearing the star again for Mass Maelstrom. Striker already through that pack with lead jammer status. Coming back to the pivot line, Striker re-engaging the pack. Striker with a big hit to Potty Mouth, knocking him to the outside and continuing forward. 5 more points on the board thanks to Striker. And now we've got a nice fast-moving pack. They're starting to slow down so they can start attacking Striker as he comes through. Striker getting recycled by number 8. That's flying Brian Kilman. Potty Mouth finally making it through. Striker knocked to the inside and calls it off. Once again, shutting down Toronto. Mass Maelstrom at 63, Toronto at 8. Now, we've got 2 skaters. I believe that's Tupac and Pivot there. That's 3-0, it looks like. Unfortunately, I can't see the number of the other skater, but it is Tupac. Maelstrom does have 2 skaters in the penalty box, and that is 662, Stupid Sexy Flanders, in the penalty box for Toronto. And we are in a timeout. Oh, that's Pickering down there. My apologies. So it's Pickering and Tupac in the penalty box for Mass Maelstrom. Looks like we're about to get back to the action. We've got Cilantro wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, and both teams all the way up to the jam line, not allowing those jammers to get any momentum to come through. 157, that's Biff Malibu. 151, Biff Malibu has taken lead jammer for Toronto. Looks like that pack is starting to speed up. They want to make this as difficult as possible. There he goes. All right, that looks like 4 on the board for Toronto. My apologies, that's 3 on the board for Toronto, 4 on the board for Maelstrom, bringing Maelstrom up to 68 and Toronto to 11. 888 Senor Wiener wearing the star for Toronto, and that's number 22, Andy. Both teams started with 1 blocker in the penalty box. Both blockers have been released and have now entered the pack from the back. And that, my friends, is Senor Wiener taking lead jammer and running with it. So far, so good. Gets through, passes the hips. That, my friends, a good play, 3 points on the board for Toronto. Mass Maelstrom holding steady at 68. We've got Striker once again wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. And that's number 222, Sleeper Cell, for the first time wearing the star for Toronto. Sleeper Cell just, wow, just manhandling that pack. Takes lead jammer by the horns and rides it around the track. Striker about half a track behind him. Sleeper Cell coming up, re-engaging the pack. Mass Maelstrom has 2 skaters down in the penalty box. There we go. That's 4 points on the board for Toronto. 4 points also on the board for Striker. 4 points on the board for Toronto. Unfortunately, Striker about half a lap behind, a quarter lap behind, picking up those points just as quickly as Sleeper Cell is. So while they're both increasing points, the delta's remaining the same. Sleeper Cell needs to get through here and call it off. Toronto's pivot trying to take out Striker. Striker making it through, but Sleeper Cell got stuck behind. Right there, you've got 12 points on the board for Mass Maelstrom, 17 this time from Toronto, bringing Mass Maelstrom to 80 and Toronto to 31. A nice high-scoring jam. Unfortunately, they needed Toronto really needed to increase that. Decrease that delta quite a bit. Looks like time out. Thanks to Mass Maelstrom. You know, it's funny, on the in-house in here, I can hear my good buddy Krim down there talking about Dunkin' Donuts and how he is just not a fan of the chain donut places. So if you're in Fitchburg, let me tell you, the place to go is Dippin' Donuts. Dippin' Donuts, 235 Lunenburg Street in Fitchburg, Mass. One of the best donut shops around. You're going to find some great customer service, fantastic coffee, and amazing donuts. So get in there and talk to those fine people and enjoy those quality donuts. Eight minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. Mass Maelstrom at 80, Toronto at 31. My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and that's Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto. Biff Malibu all the way up front, trying to get into turn one. That's Brunetti. That's Brunetti and Pickering. Oh, knocking him to the outside. Looks like he's holding his jaw. That was a tough hit. Brunetti taking him all the way back. Biff Malibu back now at the back of the pack. My Baby Daddy at the front of the pack. Swarley, the last obstacle. My Baby Daddy is not the lead jammer. That honor goes to Biff Malibu. Biff Malibu, almost makes it through. Almost takes out Scooby Drew. My Baby Daddy picking up 4 points along the way. Biff Malibu needed to make it through that pack. No such luck. The score difference remains the same, 84 for Mass Maelstrom, Toronto at 35. Both teams picking up 4 points that jam. Seven minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. And it looks like a timeout has been called. I believe that was Toronto. Yep, so that is Toronto. Toronto does have the team timeout. And while we're waiting, let me tell you about Wildflowers. That's right, Wildflowers, where the flowers are spelled like Flours. Wildflowers Gluten-Free Bakery of Brunswick, Maine offers a fabulous selection of outlandishly delicious gluten-free baked goods, and they're joining us here today. They are worth the trip. Check out their Facebook page. That's Wildflowers Gluten-Free Bakery in Brunswick, Maine. They sent some treats down for us to enjoy, and let me tell you, they may be gluten-free, but they are 100% not taste-free. They are just spectacular. There was a crowd around them. Everybody wanted some of that. So check them out. Wildflowers Gluten-Free Bakery in Brunswick, Maine. We're going to get back to the action. We've got number 22, Andy, wearing the star for Maelstrom, and 888 Senor Wiener wearing the star for Toronto. And I'd like to thank Senor Wiener for picking such a great derby name so that I had to say Senor Wiener quite often today. I'm curious, what are some of your favorite skater names that you would like to hear announced more often? Send that to talk the number 2 BOBH. That's talk 2 BOBH on Twitter. Oh, a big hit, knocking Senor Wiener down and out. Looks like he pulled up some tape. Andy's taking lead jammer and was getting jammed over there by, that's number 222, Sleeper Cell, and calling that off. Looks like we've got the tape ninjas out there making sure the track is safe for our skaters. Mass Maelstrom at 86, Toronto at 35. Just a short time out while the tape ninjas are out there fixing the track. As most of you know, the track is laid with gaffer's tape. This makes it not only easy to repair, easy to put down, easy to pick up, but it's also easy to repair. I hope everybody's been enjoying the stream. I know being up here, I've seen some amazing bouts this weekend. I've seen things I've never seen before. We had jams that had no lead jammer. Both teams just pushing the pack around the track for the full 2 minutes with no lead jammer called. Absolutely spectacular. Looks like we're about to get back on the track. We've got Stryker wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom starting a skater down. Wearing the star for Toronto, that's Biff Malibu. Biff Malibu up front on the toe stops, pushing with all of his might. Brunetti there, calling the shots on that defense up on the toe stops, just getting pushed back. It is a battle of wills out there. Looks like number 8's coming around to do a little bit of offense. And there he goes. Biff Malibu taking lead jammer. Not easily at all. Stryker finally exiting the pack. The pack reforming right now. Both teams trying to get their defenses ready. Oh, a big hit to Biff Malibu, knocking him inside, and he's calling that off. 1 point on the board for Toronto. Mass Maelstrom at 86, Toronto at 36. 5 minutes on the clock, and another timeout's been called. Mass Maelstrom at 86, Toronto at 36. 50 points between these two. Both teams not scoring a lot of points individually. They've been scoring a lot of points together. So both teams have been kind of matching each other point-wise going forward. Once again, the hashtag to talk to us via Twitter, that's talk, the number 2, BOBH. Looks like we're about to get back on the track. Wearing the star for Toronto, that's 101 Potty Mouth. And wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, that's number 2, Conlon. Conlon getting right through, taking lead jammer. Potty Mouth not even to turn 1 yet. Conlon getting pushed to the outside and getting recycled. Conlon on the scoring pass. Looks like Potty Mouth finally makes it out of the pack. Now on his scoring pass. Conlon comes out, picks up 5 points, and calls it off. Five more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom at 91. Toronto maintaining at 36. Less than 5 minutes on the clock. Looks like we've got number 22. That's Andy wearing the star again for Mass Maelstrom. And number 888, Senor Wiener, wearing the star for Toronto. Andy was at the back of the pack, but found a secret passage on the outside of the track. Little hop, skip, and a jump there. Next thing you know, he's lead jammer. Senor Wiener still trying to get out of turn 1. Andy finding a spot on the inside, able to get past that pack, grab those 5 points. Senor Wiener trying to get out of turn 2, asking for help from his friends, looking for a little offense there. Finally makes it through. Now he's on his scoring pass. Number 3-2 Pickering heading to the penalty box. Andy calling it off. Nice little hug there between Brunetti and Senor Wiener, showing that even though these two teams are at each other's throats on the track, they're still good sportsmen. Mass Maelstrom at 100. Mass Maelstrom has hit that century mark. However, they no longer have an official review, and they are 2 timeouts down. Back to the track, we've got Stryker wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom and Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto. Stryker able to get through the pack, taking lead jammer. Stryker coming back around, re-engaging the pack. Stryker to the inside of the track, Biff Malibu to the outside of the track. Biff Malibu gets a little bit of offensive help from number 11. That's Billy the Kid. And that is the end of that. Toronto maintaining at 36. Mass Maelstrom at 103. 2 minutes left on the clock. Just enough time for another jam. However, I will not call the last jam because, as we all know, there is the announcer curse. I am not going to be the one to invoke it today. My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. Potty Mouth wearing the star for Toronto. Looks like the pack is stuck at the jam line. An unstoppable force has met an immovable object. However, My Baby Daddy somehow makes it through that pack. finds that small hole, able to take advantage of a weakness in the defense. Takes lead jammer. Big hit there by Swarley. My Baby Daddy out in front. 4 points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. Toronto, no points scored that jam. Mass Maelstrom at 107, Toronto at 36. Less than a minute left on the period clock. Looks like we are going to get one more jam out of this. And an official review is being called. Just like that, 41 seconds on the clock, official review being called by Toronto. Once again, I hope you've all been enjoying the stream. Some of the skater names have been absolutely spectacular. I gotta tell you, My Baby Daddy, a spectacular derby name. We also have Shred Flanders and Stupid Sexy Flanders. Those are both on Toronto. As I mentioned earlier, this is the final MRDA sanctioned game in this invitational. Battle of Bunker Hill 2017 coming to a close. However, right after this, we do have a B-team scrimmage, and that's going to be the Mass Maelstrom Berserkers taking on the Philly Shenanigans right after this. Then, of course, right after that, we are going to be doing the MVP awards. So I hope you'll be joining us on the stream for that. Remember, folks, it's Talk2, hashtag Talk2, B-O-B-H. Talk the number 2, B-O-B-H. And the whistle has been sounded. We are back to action. We might just get one more jam out of this. Toronto starting one skater down. We've got Stryker wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, and that Sleeper Cell wearing the star for Toronto. Sleeper Cell getting recycled to the back. Stryker almost out front. A big hit by Senor Wiener. But Stryker took lead jammer. Now we've got a nice fast-moving pack. Stryker coming back around to re-engage. Stryker now on a scoring pass. Looks like there was a star pass to number 222. Sleeper Cell had that silk in his hand. Looked like he was going to try a star pass. No such luck. And that, my friends, is the end of the half. Mass Maelstrom at 112. Toronto at 36. We'll be back in less than 15 minutes to continue the action. See you then. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and roller derby fans around the world. We are back for the second half of the Mass Maelstrom versus Toronto. Mass Maelstrom starting off at 112. Toronto starting off at 36. Back on the track, we've got Striker wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and that's Senor Wiener wearing the star for Toronto. Striker making it through the pack, taking lead jammer. Senor Wiener hot on his heels. Looks like there's going to be a little jammer on jammer action. No such luck. Striker getting recycled. Senor Wiener making it through. 4 points on the board for Toronto. Striker seeing 4 points going up on the board for the other team. Calling it off. Bringing Toronto up to 40. Mass Maelstrom at 114. Looks like we've got number 2-2. That's Andy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. And that's Biff Malibu, number 151, wearing the star for Toronto. Both jammers stuck at the jammer line. Biff Malibu just starting to make a little bit of progress. Andy with a little help from 2-1. Number 2-1, that's Shocker, getting through that pack, taking lead jammer. Biff Malibu still stuck at turn 1. Andy on the scoring pass, getting through that pack, getting past turn 1. That's 5 points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. Biff Malibu trying now to get into turn 3. Oh, a big hit by Shocker, knocking Biff Malibu to the outside, recycling him back to turn 2. Andy narrowly missing a hit from Swartley. Coming back through. 5 points on the board and already re-engaging. Whoa, just taking the inside path there. 5 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. Biff Malibu got hit and was out of control. Went all the way into the stands, almost hit the penalty box. Finally making it back in. By that time, the jam had been called off. 17 points that jam. That's right, 17 points that jam for Mass Maelstrom, bringing them up to 131. Toronto stuck at 40. Penalty box is clear. Both teams out on the track with a full complement. We've got 101. That's Potty Mouth wearing the star for Toronto. And that's our good buddy Cilantro wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. Both jammers trying to find a way past this pack. The pack keeps going in and out, and then Cilantro tells them what it's all about, taking lead jammer. Potty Mouth taking on the entire blocking squad of Mass Maelstrom. Finally getting through, now on the scoring pass. And that's it for that jam. It gets called off. Mass Maelstrom picking up 1 point on that jam. Both teams going for a different type of defense. We've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Maelstrom. And that's Flying Brian Kilman wearing the star for Toronto. Flying Brian getting through that pack right past turn 1, taking lead jammer. My Baby Daddy in the penalty box. I did not catch what that penalty was, but that lets Flying Brian Kilman have a power jam. 5 points on the board for Toronto. Toronto not playing offense, defense only, until the pack got engaged. Then they swarmed right in. Lion Brian picking up 3 more points and calling it off. Mass Maelstrom stuck at 132, Toronto at 48. Little less than 25 minutes on the clock. 4 jams in so far. We've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star once again. Just got out of the penalty box and re-engaged that pack. And we got 101, that's Potty Mouth, wearing the star for Toronto. The pack being held at the pivot line. Potty Mouth getting recycled back to the jam line. Oh, there we go. My Baby Daddy making it through, but that's a no pass, no penalty. And we've got a star pass there to number 222. 222, that's Sleeper Cell, now wearing the star for Toronto. Sleeper Cell breaking through, taking on Striker head on. Sleeper Cell able to stay inside the track, taking that 4 points. Sleeper Cell duck dodging and weaving through that pack. Whoa, there you go. There's another 4 points on the board for you. Looks like we've got a star pass. Striker now wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. Sleeper Cell getting caught up at turn 1. Striker getting recycled back to the pivot line. We've got a very tight pack. Striker able to just find a way through. Making it through. That's 4 more points on the board for the Maelstrom. Sleeper Cell trying to get through, but getting knocked to the inside. Well, Striker able to take the inside track and pick up 4 more points. Sleeper Cell pushing Striker to the inside. That was an interesting tactic. Sleeper Cell, forgetting that he had the star on his head, decided to just start playing defense against Striker. 16 points. 16 points scored by Mass Maelstrom on that jam. 12 points by Toronto, bringing Mass Maelstrom to 148, Toronto to 60. .22 minutes left on the clock. And we've got number 151, that's Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto. That's number 22, Andy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. Andy getting kicked to the inside, then getting kicked to the outside, but Biff Malibu able to make it through, take lead jammer. Andy narrowly avoiding a hit to the inside. Biff Malibu now trying to get past the pack, making it through. There's 4 points on the board, and a smart move, calling it off. Picking up those 4 points and shutting down the Maelstrom. Maelstrom at 148, Toronto now at 64. About 21 minutes on the clock. Wearing the star once again for the Mass Maelstrom, that's Conlon. And wearing the star for Toronto, that is Flying Brian Kilman. Conlon's coming around, Flying Brian Kilman right on his heels. Calls it off. Looks like 1 point. 1 point on the board for the Mass Maelstrom. Looks like there's a food delivery going on as well down on the track. I've heard of Meals on Wheels, but that's ridiculous. Okay, that was a bad joke, but I will not apologize for it. If I don't have to apologize for the bad jokes at home, I'm not going to do it on the mic. All right, we've got 101 Potty Mouth wearing the star for Toronto. And we've got number 2, Andy, once again wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. We've got Potty Mouth right up front in turn 2, trying to get past Pickering. Makes it through, taking lead jammer. Andy still stuck in turn 1, trying to get into turn 2. And gets pushed into the inside track by Senor Wiener. The pivot now to the outside of the track by Senor Wiener. Potty Mouth at the front of the pack trying to get through, but Andy tries to take that apex jump. No such luck. Andy has the pivot. Andy has the star in his hand, hands it off to Pivot Pickering. We've got a star pass to Pickering. Potty Mouth calling it off. Toronto picking up 5 points that time, bringing them up to 69 points. Mass Maelstrom at 149. Feels like Toronto's starting to get some traction under their wheels. Really taking some strategy into account. It's a great bit of strategy to get out there in front, pick up those points, and shut down the other team. Unfortunately, you do have to get lead jammer each time for that. Mass Maelstrom has been excellent at producing lead jammers at almost every jam. So just a reminder, my mother actually just reminded me of this. Today is Mother's Day in the United States. She was kind enough to remind me while during intermission. She actually called me and said, "Hey, just letting you know it's Mother's Day." And I said, "Oh, yes, that's right, Mother. I apologize for that." So we had a nice little chat, but I will have to call her back after the tournament this evening. So the point of the story is, call your mother. Big thank you to Fitchburg State University. They run the Wallace Civic Center here in beautiful Fitchburg. They've allowed us to use this facility, and it has been spectacular so far, if not a bit chilly. Yesterday we had people wandering around in blankets. It was so cold. But that can't really be blamed on the fact, on the arena. This is normally a hockey rink, so it's built to keep the cold in. And we've been having temperatures outside of about 40 to 50 degrees. That big slab of concrete down there is just radiating cold. Today is a little bit better, only because I think people figured out to wear jackets and long pants. Also, a big thank you to Mass Maelstrom. Thank you for putting on this invitational. Absolutely spectacular. We've got some great teams from all over. We've had people come down from Toronto, people come up from Tampa, North Carolina. It is great to see a bunch of skaters that you don't normally see out on the track and competing against each other. We did Battle of Bunker Hill 2016 last year. Absolutely a great success. Another great success this year, Battle of Bunker Hill 2017, and I'm sure that everybody's looking forward to Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. If you have any questions or comments, of course, it's hashtag Talk2BOBH. Talk the number 2 BOBH. Now, if you are following Talk to BOBH, you'll see that Banshee, the beautiful Banshee, is out there keeping everybody updated on that Twitter stream. But don't be shy. Let us know what you think. Looks like we're about to get back to action. That's number 151, Biff Malibu, wearing the star for Toronto. And that, of course, is number 1337, the Elite Skater Striker, wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. Also, lead jammer, inside, was able to complete that apex jump for 5 points. Biff Malibu still stuck in the pack. Striker able to muscle his way through Toronto's defense. 5 more points on the board for the Maelstrom. Another apex jumps by Striker. Another 5 points on the board. Biff Malibu has been fighting his way through this entire track. The pack holding him back, while Striker's able to just cut through that pack. Looks like a Maelstrom on Maelstrom collision there. A little bit of friendly fire knocking Striker down. Striker gets right back up, taking those 5 points and coming back around to re-engage the pack. Looks like there's been a star pass. We've got number 662. That's Stupid Sexy Flanders, where has the star for Toronto in his hot little hands. Stupid Sexy Flanders just trying to get by. That's Shocker and Benar. And Frank holding him back. Number 151, Biff Malibu, being sent to the penalty box. Striker picking up another 5 points. Santa Vaca, mi amigos, that is a high-scoring jam. Mass Maelstrom at 185, Toronto at 71. Striker able to pick up 35 points, a whopping 35 points. That's 7 Grand Slams in a row. My friends, if you're putting the kids in the station wagon and taking them to Denny's, you're not going to get that many Grand Slams in a row. Striker, an amazing jammer out there. Toronto, they are no slouches on this, and they are fighting hard. But Mass Maelstrom just keeping them at bay with that defense. We are on a timeout. Looks like Toronto has called a timeout. Looks like we've got Harley Quinn Davidson down there, Wifopathic, Scooby Drew, Geographer, all members of the best team out there. That's right, Team Zebra. We've got a beautiful Dazzle out there in the middle of the track conferring, while Toronto discusses strategy. Number 151, Biff Malibu, still in the penalty box. Looks like we've got a whistle, and the skaters are returning to the track. Looks like we're going to have number 8, that's Flying Brian Kilman, wearing the star for Toronto. And that's number 504, Baby Daddy, my baby daddy, wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. The pack stuck between the pivot and the jam line. My baby daddy getting knocked into the center of the track by Senor Wiener, getting recycled. Flying Brian Kilman also getting recycled back to the jam line. A battle of attrition here. My baby daddy, that's Swarley trying to take a hit, but my baby daddy making it through. Taking lead jammer. The pack still at the pivot line. My baby daddy making it right through on the inside. Looks like there was a star pass to Senor Wiener. However, Senor Wiener getting sent to jammer jail. Looked like a forearm penalty. He's going to have 30 seconds to think about what he's done. Big hit by Swirly. Swirly knocking My Baby Daddy to the inside. Looks like a no pass, no penalty on that 1 point. So far, Maelstrom has racked up 8 points in this jam. My Baby Daddy asking for some offense out there. Able to distract those blockers long enough to get through. Another no pass, no penalty. 4 points on the board for Maelstrom. Senor Wiener out there with the star pass now. Coming through. Senor Wiener now on a scoring pass. And that's it for that jam. Mass Maelstrom picking up 12 points, bringing them to 196. Toronto at 71. Back on the track, we've got Cilantro wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom, and that's Potty Mouth wearing the star for Toronto. The pack stuck right before turn 1. Potty Mouth was at the front of the pack for a moment. Cilantro making it through coming out of turn 2. Oh, Potty Mouth trying to make a run to the outside of the track. A nice little hip check by Shocker. Gets him recycled back to the beginning of turn 2. Cilantro re-engaging that pack. Knocked to the inside by Swarley. Cilantro able to take the outside track. Right behind, looks like Potty Mouth attempted a star pass. Had that silk off his helmet, but did not complete the star pass. So we've got 10 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom now over the double century mark at 206. Toronto at 71. Now, Rockety Roller, I know you're out there. I know you're watching on the stream. How do we know? Because we've got a shout out for you. Rockety Roller, thank you for joining us on the stream. I hope you're enjoying it. Be sure to say thank you or say hey via hashtag talk the number 2 BOBH. So Rockety Roller, thank you very much. Toronto using their last time out with just under 13 minutes on the clock. Once again, Toronto at 71, Mass Maelstrom at 206. Earlier I was talking about my mom. She's kind of rough and tumble. If your mom's rough and tumble as well, maybe you should turn her to Turn 2 Skate Shop in Portland, Maine. It's a roller derby-based skate shop operated by Kissy Kicks of Rock Coast Rollers. All of the armor, all of the pads, all of the equipment, it's not just for roller derby. It's also just for skating fun. It's just protection out there while you're out on whether you're on the track or you're just out in public skate. So check out the derby shops just if you want to skate. You want to go out on the rail trail, you want to join a public skate at your local skating house. Check out Turn 2 Skate Shop. Get set up with some of the best knee pads, elbow pads, helmets, everything that you'll need to get out there and skate safely. That's turn2skateshop.com. Back on the track, we've got Andy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and that's Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto. Unfortunately, Biff Malibu getting sent to jam or jail, allowing Andy to enjoy a little bit of a power jam here. You've got Senor Wiener, you've got Swarley knocking Andy around. Senor Wiener, the pivot right up front. Unfortunately, Andy able to make it through, taking lead jammer. Biff Malibu standing ready to join the pack. Andy making it through, picking up 5 points. Andy once again in the pack. Going left, going right. Nice push out there by Swarley. Andy taking the outside, getting past that pack on one skate. Five more points on the board for Andy. Looked like Biff Malibu had a little bit of an equipment malfunction and was taking care of his equipment at the penalty box. Now he's back on the track. Senor Wiener out there trying to do a little bit of offense for him. There he goes. Biff Malibu finally getting through the pack, now on the scoring pass, while Andy's been picking up those grand slams left and right. $19 points scored on that last jam by Mass Maelstrom, bringing it up to 225. Toronto at 71. Apparently, it's also Mother's Day in Canada, so happy Mother's Day to all the Canadian mothers out there. So everybody in the U.S., you have no excuse. You need to call your mother. Also, to our Canadian neighbors to the north, you also have no excuse. Call your mother. Tell them how much you love them and you appreciate them. Looks like another timeout. Looks like that's an official timeout. So it'll be just a moment. Toronto Roller Derby has their official review left. Mass Maelstrom has one timeout left. Once again, Mass Maelstrom at 225. Toronto at 71. Little less than 10.5 minutes on the clock. If you're like me, you're going to be up late tonight. You're going to be reviewing all of these great games. Oh, looks like we've got an equipment check down on the floor. But if you're going to be up late tonight, you're not going to have time to make breakfast in the morning, so be sure to head out to the Daily Bagel at 582 North Main Street in Leominster, Massachusetts. Grab yourself an amazing bagel sandwich. They've got a bagel steak and cheese that'll bring a tear to your eyes. Great bagels, all made in-house. Everything bagels, garlic bagels, jalapeno bagels. Absolutely spectacular stuff. Go in there and tell Joe, Athena, and Mary Ellen that Oso Blanco Fabuloso sent you. During the last bout, I'm not sure if you noticed, but one of the skaters actually lost their right inside rear wheel. As you're going around the track, high impact, collisions, you never know what's going to happen with your equipment, so we need to make sure that your equipment is on properly. That's for the safety of the skaters and all the safety for you and all the skaters around you. And the whistle has been blown. Mass Maelstrom at 225. Toronto at 71. 10 minutes and 26 seconds on the clock. We've got number 8. That's Flying Brian Kilman wearing the star for Toronto. Wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom once again. That's Striker. Flying Brian Kilman out to Jammer Jail for a track cut, it appears. Striker getting knocked to the inside on his power jam. We've got Sleeper Cell down there trying to stop Striker. Oh, there you go. Sexy Flanders using a teammate as a battering ram. However, Stryker makes it through the pack, takes lead jammer. Flying Brian Kilman back on the track. Stryker engaging that pack like a rabid wolf and calling it off before Kilman can come back around and score any points. 3 points scored by Mass Maelstrom that time. We've got 228 on the board for the Maelstrom and 71 on the board for Toronto. Back on the track, we've got Cilantro wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, Pottymouth wearing the star for Toronto. The pack at the pivot line. Just a battle, just pushing and shoving, trying to get through. Cilantro knocked to the inside by Senor Wiener. And it looks like Pottymouth is already in the penalty box. Cilantro's lead jammer. Toronto has not one, not two, but three skaters in the penalty box, including their jammer. Looks like number 11, Billy the Kid, now back on the track for Toronto. Pottymouth is standing outside of the penalty box. Cilantro coming back around, re-engaging the pack. Both jammers back on the track. Cilantro making it past that pack. 5 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. Brunetti and Pottymouth. That's Pickering and Pottymouth. We're trading paint down there by turn 3. Pottymouth able to make it through, but not able to score. Cilantro picking up 14 points on that jam, bringing Mass Maelstrom to 242. Toronto stuck at 71. Looks like we're going to get right back to the action. That's number 151, Biff Malibu, wearing the star for Toronto. And we've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. The pack is moving at a swift pace now into turn 2. My Baby Daddy making it through. Little hit by Swarley did not stop him. Biff Malibu now engaging Stryker and Jimmy. The entire pack trying to let him through. 5:04, My Baby Daddy, right through that pack once again. That jam has been called. 5 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom, bringing them up to 247. Toronto still stuck at 71. In the penalty box, we've got number 7. That's Hasselman from Mass Maelstrom. Looks like we're doing another gear check. Mycopathic Chiller out there having a little fun with the Zebra crew. The officials also taking this opportunity to inspect the track. The skaters aren't the only things that have been taking abuse this weekend. That poor track. A lot of derby has been played on that track this weekend. I'm surprised it's still standing. Down on the floor, we've got my good buddy Krim and the head announcer this weekend. That's Beautiful Banshee on the in-house mics. Having a good time bantering back and forth. It's always a good time during an invitational or a tournament when you actually get a lot of announcers together. And bad things usually start happening, but at least they're fun. Once again, hashtag #TalkToBOBH. Once again, talk the number 2 BOBH on Twitter. Looks like after that 19-point jam, an official timeout was called for a blood check. That's what was going on. They were looking for blood. We're back on the track. Andy, number 22, wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom. A quick hop past that back, picks up lead jammer. And we've got Flying Brian Kilman wearing the star. That's number 8 for Toronto. Flying Brian Kilman through that pack. Andy at the back of the pack trying to make his way to turn 3. Andy getting a track cut. Flying Brian on a power jam. Hopefully he can take advantage of this. Try to decrease that deficit with 5 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock. 5 points on the board for Toronto. Flying Brian trying to get through, getting some offensive help from his buddies. It got called off. However, Mass Maelstrom looks like they're asking for an official review. However, they are out of official reviews. Toronto, the only one who actually has the official review. We're back. We're going. Unfortunately, nobody fielded a jammer. Andy's still in the penalty box for Mass Maelstrom. No jammer fielded for Toronto. Looks like some questions are being asked. Looks like we're in an official timeout for the moment. No, my apologies. Toronto is now calling for that official review, using their last official review. This is what I like to see, both teams conversing, shaking hands, hugging each other. A great display of sportsmanship out there. It's one of the reasons I love roller derby. We are all in this together. Roller derby, of course, put together by volunteers, by the blood, sweat, and tears of just work. Getting an officiating crew together, a whole bunch of non-skating officials, announcers, EMTs, a whole lot of people go into making roller derby work for you every weekend, and we're happy to do it. All right, after that official review, looks like number 8, Flying Brian Kilman is in jammer jail. Andy back out on the track. Andy flying through that pack. Scooby Drew has his finger in the air, letting us know he is lead jammer. Andy re-engaging the pack. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Street Fighter Manifesto knocking him to the inside. Flying Brian Kilman taking on Stryker. And, whoa, big hit for Flying Brian Kilman. He's on the ground. He's trying to make it through. He is through. He is now on his scoring pass. Andy knew that he was cutting that track and just called it off. 4 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom, bringing Mass Maelstrom up to 255, Toronto at 76. We've got 3 minutes and 35 seconds left in this bout. Toronto, 100% out of timeouts, 100% out of official reviews. Mass Maelstrom, the only team that has a timeout. We've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and Potty Mouth taking lead jammer for Toronto. The pack still stuck at turn 1. That means My Baby Daddy still stuck at turn 1 as well. Potty Mouth taking some hits, trying not to get knocked to the outside. Looks like Potty Mouth got knocked to the ground and called it off. 3 points on the board for Toronto. My apologies, that's 4 points on the board for Toronto, bringing them up to 80. Mass Maelstrom holding at 255. Maelstrom starting a skater down in this jam. Looks like that's 151. Biff Malibu wearing the star for Toronto, and Cilantro wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. I'm not sure what happened. Next thing you know, Cilantro popping out of that pack, grabbing lead jammer along the way. Biff Malibu also out of the pack. Cilantro gets past, picks up those 4 points. Biff Malibu coming back around now on the scoring pass. Gets right into the fray. Trying to push that defense forward. Toronto now 2 skaters down. I see Senor Wiener and Swarley in the penalty box. Cilantro able to just glide right through that pack unopposed. Biff Malibu still fighting, getting knocked to the inside and recycled. Looked like Biff Malibu was about to come in and cause a track cut. Thought twice about it, then went to the back of the pack, allowed himself to be recycled. Cilantro fixing his skates as he gets through the pack once more. Oh, Swarley coming in, playing a little defense there, breaking up that defense put up by Mass Maelstrom. Unfortunately, Biff Malibu getting tossed to the inside and recycled once again. Jimmy, Hasselman, Brunetti all on Biff Malibu, trying to stop his progress right before turn 3. Cilantro also doing likewise, but getting stuck right into the inside of the track. Both skaters in turn 3, and that's the end of that jam. Mass Maelstrom picking up 20 points that time, bringing them up to 275. Toronto at 84, and it looks like we've got 9, 8, 7, 5 seconds left on the period clock. I do not think we're going to make it to another jam. My friends, that is it. That is it. That is the last MRDA sanctioned bout of this invitational. Mass Maelstrom finishing off strong at 275. Toronto at 84. I love Toronto. It's a beautiful town. They have nothing to be ashamed of. They fought for every point, and Mass Maelstrom had to fight for every point as well. I hope that drive home is uneventful, and I hope they get a nice cold beer after this. That's it. That's the final score. 275 Mass Maelstrom, 84 for Toronto. We're going to be taking a break, but don't worry, folks. We are going to be back. Game 11 of the weekend. That's right, the men's B team game. We've got the Mass Maelstrom Berserkers versus the Philly Shenanigans coming up real soon. I've been Oso Blanco Fabuloso. We'll talk soon.